Tyson Fury announced his retirement. Happened to be on the same day as the press conference for Beterbiev Bivol 2. What are your thoughts on, firstly, his retirement and on the fact it was dropped on that day?
I don't know if it was dropped by coincidence or on purpose on that day, truthfully, because obviously it's a big press conference, but because there's not like a heavyweight or title fight. I mean, my understanding of Dubois, there's not anyone of note that he could fight on the card, so I don't think he did it to like kind of outshine anyone. However, I don't think he's retired either, because it's just like it's just. I feel like there's still more to gain from the sport, and I don't think he's just gonna leave it like that. I feel like he said it maybe just for now. Maybe he might go for like a year or so, whatever. I don't believe in the retirement just yet, and I could be wrong. Saying this in hindsight, I could be wrong in like a year's time. He could never come back. I just don't feel like it's a genuine retirement. I feel like it's a bit of an emotional response from the fight.
But do you not think also that he could just be tired? He's had a long career. His kids and his wife kind of have to take, they're kind of on the back burner when he has to concentrate on his career. Maybe he's just, he's looked at the situation and gone, look at how much money I've got a beautiful wife, got loads of kids. Maybe it's just time to chill. Not think?
I wouldn't blame him if that was the case. I just feel like I don't know him like that, but seeing the way he's behaved these last few years as a person, I feel like if a big money fight came on the table, he wouldn't turn it down. However, maybe he is retired for now until that big money fight comes, until he gets that massive paycheck again. Maybe against AJ in Wembley, who knows? But until something like that comes along, it's hard to... For the next couple of years, it's really hard to see how he's retired for good. Yeah.
I slightly agree with the emotional response. And I think that possibly did play a part into his decision. But I also do think, listen, the guy's in his late 30s. Like I say, he's got a family. He's already got money set for, it's generational wealth. So... And when is enough? When is enough? However, Turki Al-Sheikh has stated that he's had a little chat with Tyson, and he's kind of hinted that almost he's going to give him a little bit of a breather, a bit of a break, spend some time with his family, and then try and get him back.
That's probably what's going to happen, truthfully. He's probably just going to let him chill for like maybe nearly a year, come back for another big fight, and probably ride off into the sunset. I feel like one or two more big fights, probably one, and Tyson Fury will really be done. Yeah.
I think also a lot of people were saying, when you look on social media and you look at sort of the comment sections, they were saying they didn't really want to see Fury AJ before even the second Usyk fight. Everyone's like, it's too late, can't be bothered, not interested, right? But I am telling you now, it's switched. People are now going, hold on a minute, we want to see AJ.
I think you know what it is. It was originally signed for 2020, but that was after the Wilder Fury second fight. But Fury didn't tell AJ and his team that they'd already signed the Wilder trilogy. So they announced Fury and AJ, and then Eddie Hearn kind of got blindsided by some of the promoters. But now that Turkey's making everyone work together, I feel like they'll probably do like an AJ fight. Maybe like it was definitely set up Wembley or the O2. Definitely. I think now that they've both lost to Usyk twice, they both have. It's a bit different because before, if AJ just had lost, they're thinking, oh yeah, AJ's a hype job. Fury will beat him easily. What's the point in seeing that? But now seeing that Usyk's the king now, and they've both lost to him twice. The number 2 and number 3 are AJ and Fury. Realistically, there's no one else. I mean, obviously, minus Daniel Dubois, what happened the other day. However, I still think the number 2 big draws in the UK, number 1 and number 2 big draws are Fury and AJ.
I have to agree. In different ways, listen, Tyson Fury is an entertaining character, an absolutely entertaining character. And I remember going to see James DeGale when he fought George Groves, because they fought as pros. Yeah. Right? And I remember Tyson Fury he'd come to watch, and there was some sort of altercation. I can't remember who it was with. And he kind of ripped his shirt off, and everyone stopped watching the fight. I was watching him, so he's always kind of had that draw. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, he's had some great dance partners. He's been great for the sport. Those two last fights with Usyk, both of them have played their role in, it's just been phenomenal.
Truthfully, I'm edging towards Chris Eubank purely because of the size difference and the accolades and the people that he's fought, the resume. I think regardless of what you think about his style, he's fought some of the best. Regardless of win or lose, he's fought a lot of people. So I'm edging towards Eubank, especially because they're fighting at a catch weight and obviously Benn's coming up and Eubank's going down. But we'll see. It'll be a good fight, but I think Eubank should win it.
Now that AJ Fury might not be happening, Frank Warren has offered up either Wardley or Moses Itauma to take Fury's place. I mean...
Well, to fight AJ?
Yeah.
If I'm going to give the edge to anyone, I'll say Moses Itauma. Yeah. I think it could be a bit too soon. It could be. But if anyone wants to do it, it's going to be him, though. But the only reason I don't think it would happen is because they're in the same camp. Moses and AJ are in the same camp. Both train with Ben Davison. But then again, so does Wardley, doesn't he?
I was going to say, listen.
So all three of them train in the same camp. So I'm not sure.
When it's time to make money, these deals can be done. Let's talk about Wardley, firstly, as a possible opponent for AJ. How would you see that one going?
Truthfully, as much as Wardley's been making like waves and stuff, I think AJ would win it. Only because not only the size difference, but the experience difference as well. I know we said that about Daniel Dubois, but Daniel Dubois is a different kind of fighter. And I think even Daniel Dubois would beat Wardley as well at this current moment. So I think AJ should, on paper, beat Wardley. But knowing AJ and respectfully, like, his performances aren't consistent, I'm not really sure. I don't see Wardley doing anything that can beat him, though. I don't see him like having more power than him or having a better skill set than him or more experience. So AJ should beat him. Yeah.
What is interesting about that matchup, and I think about Wardley in particular, he hasn't been through the whole GB. He didn't have that big amateur career. And so, yes, he doesn't necessarily have the boxing ability of these so-called, top amateurs. However, what I will say is that's the thing that I think the reason why people have overlooked him. He is awkward. And in fact, that makes him even more dangerous in my eyes, because you kind of look what he did to
Fraser
Clark.
Yeah.
Fraser Clark's an Olympian, and then this kid comes along that supposedly doesn't have the same kind of level, and he, to be fair, yeah. So I don't think, honestly, and I don't think you can overlook Wardley. I really don't. I think he's very tricky. Yeah, okay, he might not have the same kind of, technical ability, but that doesn't seem to have hindered him. Moses Itauma against AJ.
I think if out of those two, if anyone's going to beat him, it'll be Moses. Moses is special, man. Honestly, I don't say this about many people, but he's going to be a world champion, 100%.
Oh.
I was having this conversation even with James DeGale, and he said the same thing.
Given.
Yeah. He's definitely a special kind of fighter. Give him a few 12-round fights, he's ready for a world title, I reckon.
So I'm going to contradict myself, right? Because I do want to see, and I've said this in my last podcast, I think, I want to see him developed. I want to see him be able to enjoy the journey and learn on the job type of thing.
Yeah.
But then also, I would like to see that AJ fight. And so... AJ's going to leave soon. Do we get them in the last couple of fights? I don't know.
I don't know. That's the thing. Because obviously AJ's on his way out now and Moses is just coming up now. I just don't see it happening. But it would be... my heart says, yeah, I want to see that. But realistically, I don't think it's the best move for either. One, because if AJ loses, he's retired. Like, that's it. He's a given. He's retired at that point. Moses, even if he does win and he gets catapulted onto the world level... Is he ready to hang it with those guys more than just AJ? Because you can beat AJ, but can you beat Chisora? Can you beat, obviously not Usyk at the moment? Can you beat, obviously, people like Fury if he does come back, or Dubois at the moment?
And this is why I say I would like to see him, as much as I'm enjoying seeing him just put away people, I want to see him developed, and also just on a basic level, getting to know him a bit better. Getting his, his brand being built. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that's the route they should go with him. Even if it takes a few more years longer, and maybe AJ might retire in the next few years, I think establishing him as his own person and not the kid that beat AJ. That makes sense. Like it's Moses Itauma, like the boxer, not the guy who beat AJ, and then probably, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. Sometimes these things just not supposed to work out.
Even as an amateur, everyone knew he was special. Like I remember his European run, and he like stopped everyone.
The mega fight between Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. is now a done deal for April. Thoughts on that?
It's funny. I saw the post the other day on the House of Lords. They're announcing it there, and they wanted to give like a moment or something for that fight being signed, and everyone was clapping. I'm thinking like, this is a political place. Why are you guys worried about the boxing? But I think it's a good domestic tear up. I think it's good for the fans, and it'll make a lot of money, sell a lot of tickets, and that's why Turkey's obviously invested, because he's going to get a good return on it. And it's just good for the fans. Truthfully, I think Chris Eubank will win, only because of his experience and his accolades and the people that he's fought in and of itself. And the weight as well, which is the biggest factor. He's fought at middleweight / super middleweight his whole career. Conor Benn's been a welterweight / 140-pounder. So coming up at catchweight, it's going to be tough for Conor Benn. And because he hasn't fought any like world champions of that level, like Chris Algieri, obviously was at 140, so he's not really like a welterweight world champion. And jumping up to middleweight is their catchweight is quite a big jump. So I think Chris Eubank will win. However, it should be an exciting fight.
It will be an exciting fight. I love the fact that it's been made. I wish it had been made sooner, but it is what it is. The hostility between them, like Conor Benn just was angry all the time.
Did you see this thing with Ryan Garcia the other day?
No.
You see at the big gala that was in London the other day?
Yeah, the Ring magazine, yeah.
Conor Benn tried starting it with Ryan Garcia.
Did he really?
Yeah. And Ryan Garcia just kind of just laughed it off a little bit.
Maybe for those racist comments though, maybe that's why I put it on him. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't see that, but he's back in the mix, and I think.
Yeah, I think from the other day, even that little thing with Conor Benn, he looks okay, better than he was before. Like he looks a bit more level-headed, a bit more relaxed. So I think this whole situation, especially with the lawsuit going on, which will probably get dropped soon, I think it's kind of brought him back to his senses a little bit, and I think he's okay now. Hopefully, we'll see. I don't know.
Well, he's saying that he won't fight unless the lawsuit is dropped by the Haneys. If anyone's kind of trying to
I think Turkey's trying to make that happen.
And I think that he'll say, boys, come together, shake hands, and let's just make this happen. And I think it'll just... Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he's the peacemaker in the middle. So, and, I guess you have to weigh up what you would get for taking him to court versus what you may get fighting him. And again, that's only for those individuals to make that decision. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do like the fact that there's this kind of little beef bubbling between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn. I'm not sure. I'm going to be honest. I'm not actually sure. I'm really not sure at this moment in time. I'm not sitting on the fence. I'm kind of like, people have underestimated Conor Benn in the past, and then he kind of pulls this thing out of the bag. Do you know what I mean? So, I don't know. I might change my mind down the line. I think I kind of need to analyse their fights a bit more. Do you know what I mean?
But then it goes to then question. Obviously, it's at a different weight, but if Chris Eubank can beat someone like Liam Smith,
do you know that is the thing that I thought about actually when you were talking. He beat Liam Smith, and he was not expected to beat Liam Smith. So again, I'm honestly, I still don't know. But it is going to be a good fight. It's also been mentioned that there's going to be a 5x5 Matchroom versus Golden Boy.
Oh, that's going to be interesting. I don't know. I think Matchroom should win that. Possibly, because Golden Boy don't really have anyone. I'm not gonna lie to you. They don't have any like big A-class names. Like maybe in America, or maybe in that side of the world, but no one that's really on that world level. So I think Matchroom have the better stable of fighters as a whole. Like Eddie Hearn has more of a bag to pick from than Golden Boy and Oscar De La Hoya. So Eddie Hearn should win. Although I wouldn't be surprised if there's one or two upsets in there. Yeah.
This whole concept, and I get it, if these promoters had just worked together sooner.
It would have changed the sport. If this happened like 30 years ago, this would have changed the whole sport and the direction it went in. But better now than never.
Yeah, exactly.